My name's Naismith and I'm a landscape painter. I'm going to review Jackson's Artist Acrylics. Jackson's are a UK based supplier of art materials and they're doing their own brand Artist Acrylic, and this is what they look like. Now, does a brand really matter, first of all? Not really, but the initial inspection of it does. I mean, if we look at it generally, is it bad performing or good performing? And it really doesn't matter from time to time what brand. Much more important is how those brands produce specific colours. So I find one brand can be good at producing cad reds and another brand be good at doing phthalo blues. Some brands, can be better at more of those colours, and other brands can be bad at every colour. So let's hear about if it's really bad. So I'm going to be directly comparing the performance of Jackson's Artist Acrylics to pretty much one of the market leaders here, which is Golden. I've been using Golden paints up to recently, and still will continue to do so for certain colours, and I'll go into that in a minute. So Jackson's, how are they doing for the Artist Acrylics? What I have over here are some of the colours that I have from the Jackson's range, which have been settling now for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. Possibly 15. And you can see that the greasy surface of these tear-off palettes show you just how much they sink down with gravity. Cadmium red, cadmium red, cadmium yellow, genuine cerulean blue, emerald green, black, raw umber and violet. And generally, looking at the consistency, it isn't as full-bodied across the board, but the black and the raw umber is really full-bodied and thick, and the emerald green really is quite thick, and as is this. The cadmiums are a little bit more drippy than I've seen in the past. But generally they're holding up their shape, especially the violet as well. Look at it, really holding its shape, holding itself. And why does this matter? Well, when you apply that colour straight from the tube, you sometimes want that impasto texture. And a lot of the times with your non-artist acrylic, they can really melt into themselves when they dry. What you thought was a nice, interesting impasto texture melts into itself. You might actually want that effect, in which case you don't want the fuller bodied paints. Let's first look at my sketchbook here. True to form, I'm working on cyan, magenta and yellow due to my interest in an alternative colour theory for artists, which uses the CMY colour wheel. Now, I believe that a good magenta, a good cyan and a good yellow should be the basis of all sets of paints out there. I recently got a Schmincke Primacryl acrylic set, and it was completely inadequate with the colours that they give you. The paints were quite nice. Particularly liked the titanium white, but I'll go into that later. So this is how the little diagram looks. What I've done is I've selected what best from Jackson's I could find for the cyan, magenta, yellow in the minute, which is basically so that I can get the primary colours. If you don't know that that's the primary colours, check out my video, The Truth About the Colour Wheel. Okay, so in the middle, my Rose Madder Quinacridone from Jackson's turned out a little bit red and less magenta. Phthalo Blue was a good cyan, and cadmium yellow pale is this one here. And this one just shows you how cadmium red is a lot more orange than cadmium yellow pale. And these are the resulting mixes of these colours. We've got cyan here, and that primary cyan is the cyan from golden, quinacridone magenta, and primary yellow. So golden being those kind of market leader range, I've been using them. I really like them, and I've got to say that Jackson's came up to quality. The one issue I think is my selection on the magenta was a little bit towards red. Magenta is within the Jackson's range, but I thought from the diagram it looked a little bit purple. And what I feel about the Jackson's range is maybe not extensive compared to, not as many colours as say golden. And again, this doesn't really matter if there's certain colours that you do like within a range. I do tend to chop and change between one range and another, so there's nothing wrong with that. This little mark here shows how really good the opacity of the cadmium yellow is. I mean, the slightest bit of cadmium yellow is going to cover over and give you great coverage. Obviously with the primary yellow it's more of a transparent colour, so it's not a fair comparison to then try that. Okay, it pretty much stood up to it absolutely fine. I've used the same whites with both of these just to really expose the colours a little bit, but the biggest test here was the thinning of the paint, and I think the phthalo blue really thins well, as does the cadmiums, and this rose madder quinacridone, however, it's a little bit red, it still works quite well, it does well. And I've actually added more wet paint to these, which will tell you that the wet paint dries the exact same shade, really, as the dry paint. So there's no colour shift, really, which is a really good sign of a good paint, that it doesn't darken too much when it dries. There's dry paint and wet paint here, and I'm actually looking at it, not quite sure if it's wet or dry, because the colour has remained the same. So that's a good sign. So we'll shift over here, this emerald green. Now what I've got here is some texture paste. Now this will represent the thinning of the colour, but in a slightly different way. Now I sometimes use texture paste to give you that nice texture, so let's take one of these colours. We'll go for the emerald green, and we'll see how much of the colour remains when a lot of the texture paste is added. And it really maintains the colour well. I mean, that's mostly texture paste, and we still end up with a bright green, or a very vivid green. We've not gone too much lighter than the original colour, which I was really happy with as well. I do like working with texture pastes. Okay. Let's have a look at the texture paste on the genuine cadmium, the genuine cerulean blue. And let's just lift loads of this paste. Loads and loads of the paste. So we're pretty much 75% texture paste here, possibly more, 80% texture paste. And we still have that vivid colour coming through, and the undertones of the paint are coming through as well. Now down at the bottom here I have put down Jackson's, this is Jackson's white, just here, and then just below it is actually Primacryl white. Now I recently, I actually filmed a review of Primacryl paints, and I haven't actually put it on YouTube yet. I may do in the near future, but I wasn't as impressed with the Primacryl colours as such, possibly because I tried out Jackson's at the same time, and the coverage of the cadmium red, I was working on a painting and I just wanted a cadmium red. For me, that's one of the clinchers for a paint for me. Does the cadmium red really cover when you use it very, very thin? And the answer was yes with the Jacksons, and that really sold me on the Jacksons quite quickly. But because I was working with Schmincke Primacryl at the same time, it kind of exposed how good the Jacksons cadmium red was. Now the Jacksons is a genuine cadmium red. I'm comparing it to Primacryl. I'm not sure if that's genuine cadmium red. I'm presuming it is. Primacryl are Schmincke's Artist Acrylics. But what I was impressed with the Schmincke was that the white was really good. This titanium white is one of the best whites I've worked with, and I think it stands up better. I think it stands up better than the Jackson's white, in that it seems to create a very, very smooth finish with the colours. And I was starting to think when I was working with the Schmincke paints that they were really working quite well, and it was mostly the lighter colours mixed with the white that were actually working the best. And I was loving what the white did for the paint. And it actually works the same with Jackson's. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Jackson's white. It is a good white. It's good solid white. It's as good as any white I've worked with. I was just very surprised at how good the Schmincke Primacryl was. Good coverage on the black. It doesn't say whether it's ivory black or Mars black or whatever, but it covers very well. The coverage on it is really good, and the consistency of it is very thick. It's very full-bodied. The other crucial one is this violet here. I did choose the violet just to check and see how well it held its colour, and so mixed with a little bit of white and a little bit of texture paste, you can start to see the undertones of the paint, and it really holds up that colour quite well. When you buy purples and violets, they can, certainly with oils, they can be quite they can be quite easily drowned out for some reason. I don't know. I have found that Winsor & Newton's violet does work quite well, but this Jackson's purple, it's called violet, it works brilliantly. I really like that particular colour, and it's one I will definitely go back to. So the cad red, this one emerald green, beautiful colour. The cadmium yellows, yes. I'm going to try the magenta, definitely, but genuinely I think Jackson's artist colours will definitely be within my colours that I choose. They are of a good price compared. I mean, I'm comparing them to Golden, which are much more expensive, and they're really holding up well to that. Thanks for checking out Jackson's Artist Acrylics, and I will see you in the next video. You can watch it on Twitter, Facebook, and indeed subscribe to the channel. I'll leave a link for you to peruse the Jackson's Artists range. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye.